Morsels of Thought, 1937. Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California. I am reading to you from Words and Wisdom Wednesday, George J. Chanos, Millennial Samurai, A Mindset for the 21st Century, Book 1. This is a wonderful book with a lot of knowledge that you would never get anywhere else. That is what I think. So we stopped at page 277 last time, and we're in the chapter on social media. We've been on this chapter for a little while now, since 1918. So that morsels of a episode. Okay. On March 14th, 2019, a 28-year-old Australian citizen who had recently published an anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant manifesto on the internet committed multiple terror attacks in New Zealand that killed 49 and seriously injured 20. The shooter streamed the shooting on Facebook. It was also posted on YouTube and Twitter. Social media companies have generally erred on the side of protecting the First Amendment. In 2017, Mark Zuckerberg, describing Facebook's response to Russia's attempt to influence America's elections, said, "We don't check what people say before they say it. And frankly, I don't think society should want us to. Freedom means you don't have to ask for permission first, and by default, you can say what you want." He's right. We should generally hold the First Amendment inviolate, but certain incidents illustrate that we are now in uncharted waters. Russian hacking, increases in school shootings, increases in teen suicides, decisions like Citizens United, how we handle speech on college campuses, and the evolving nature of the media all raise important questions concerning whether we need to have an evolving or fixed view of the First Amendment. The prevailing wisdom, which I have always believed, is that the antidote for false or hateful speech is more truthful speech, and I still believe that's true. Or I want to believe it's true, but what if it's no longer true? If social media is a game changer, does that mean the rules of the game also need to change? What happens when we become surrounded by false and hateful speech? This is a real possibility when computers can now be used to create automated speech, and when individuals, corporations, and governments who are all interested in shaping public opinion gain access to this ominous new technology. What happens when outside actors whose sole mission is to undermine American democracy are using social media and the First Amendment to harm or divide us? We have already seen state actors use social media in an attempt to influence public opinion. We know that algorithms exist that can be used to disguise computer generated speech as an outpouring of authentic human opinion. Okay, I'm going to pause at this paragraph and we're going to continue it next week. And the reason is that uh, I believe that we should talk a little bit about algorithms. And let me see, 1944. Uh, the reason is that an algorithm is the method, the path by which you want to create a program or app that you expect the app to um, process or do, perform. An algorithm is the way the basic rules and tenets work, TENETS, that we use to use a tool or use an instrument, like the algorithm of a hammer is to pound something into place. The algorithm of a book, like the rules, is to get men to marry women and be happy. The algorithm of a program that is meant to do something else would be first to collect the variables, then the data, then process the data according to whatever their process is. An algorithm is a process, a method, a why. Why do we do this? So in an algorithm like uh, boys meet girls, girls like boys like girls, they get married. That kind of algorithm is made in such as, well, I don't know what book would do that, but let's say a book does that, and then you have a chat GPT or chat gb any AI thing come along and say, well, we don't want girls to marry boys. We want girls to marry girls and we want boys to marry boys. And we're going to encourage that kind of behavior. Well, it will have a lot of disruptive, different type of behavior. I don't mean disruptive. What I mean is that it would create different circumstances than girls meet boys meet girls marry boys, etc. I don't know if this is really, really dangerous chart waters for me, because the examples I'm giving you are not meant to uh, ascribe to a certain philosophy or not. An algorithm is a philosophy. Like, let's say the algorithm says men are better than women, which is not true. But let's say the algorithm says that. Your app with that algorithm is going to make everything seem as though women are not as good as men. That's an algorithm. That's a process. That's a method. Okay, so algorithms. That's what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so I will bring this back the next time we talk about George J. Chanos's work. We will be on page 278, and I will talk to you again later. Thank you for coming. Appreciate all you guys that come by. Ronette Bozeman, Mandy Alexi, Liz Cantara, AC Rosita, Thelma Pacheco Gonzalez, Gina Portoff, and Colleen Dracos, and I wanted to say Mandy Alexi again. Okay, well, I'll talk to you again later. See you tomorrow. Old Kinderhook.